Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides to life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP. Yeah, change your future, starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I am an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share this about substance abuse, and I want to be crystal clear with you to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're laying in a coffin, but you know that you're not dead. You think about giving up and just waiting for death to arrive. But wait! Then you think about banging on the coffin so that maybe you can unsettle the ground above, and maybe, just maybe, someone might notice and start digging their way down to you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and or drug addiction. You know you need help. You know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn to help. In reality, there are people that can help you, probably standing right by the grave, but you just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they are habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be good at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, has it ever crossed your mind while abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose? With this, I leave you with one other thought. Don't be that person laying in a coffin, banging on the lid, hoping for someone to hear you, hoping for someone to start digging their way down to you. Take the first step. Take the first move. Help yourself by reaching out to people like myself at 844-405-HELP. As an addiction recovery coach, I am standing by, waiting. As a life coach, I am standing by, waiting. Lean on me as a crutch in life. Folks, 844-405-HELP. Let me help you take your life back. And I'm sorry to say this, but before your life is gone, you better seek help. You better reach out to someone. I want to give a shout out to Larry Geis at the Geis Academy. 516-458-2741, 516-458-2741. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach like myself, a life coach like myself. He has over 30 years experience. He is there waiting for you if you need help, if you want help. And it doesn't have to be just addiction. It doesn't have to be just drug or alcohol related. It can be for low self-esteem, depression, any addiction. You have to reach out to Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. You can Google him at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis, as an addiction recovery coach, will help you also take back your life. Reach out to him. When you speak to him, let him know that you heard about him on your Take Your Life Back Today show with me, Ralf Friedrichs. Folks, GlobalEyeglasses.com, they are focused on saving you money. They have over 1,200 frames for you to choose from. You need plastic, metal, or half frames, or no frames, they have them. If you need children's frames, they have them. Men's frames, ladies' frames, they have them. Now, as far as the lenses are concerned, they have progressives, they have line bifocals, they have no line bifocals. They have transitions, photochromatics, and polarized lenses. They have tinted lenses, clear lenses, thinner lenses, shatterproof lenses, anti-reflecting coating, scratch coating, UV coating. Everything available that you would find at your local freestanding mom and pop brick and mortar store in your hometown. You can find online at www.globaleyeglasses.com at a fraction of the cost, and you never have to leave your home. All you have to do is open your front door, reach out to your mailbox, grab your glasses, put them on, and start watching my videos. And while you're watching my videos, you can focus and keep focusing on saving money from GlobalEyeglasses.com. Folks, I wake up, although I did go to bed knowing this, but as I wake up this morning with a heavy heart, for the violence that has bestowed us over in Paris, France. And I ask myself, when is this ever going to end? When is this violence ever going to end? And I'm not speaking now about drug-fueled or alcohol-fueled violence. I am talking about violence and what is behind this violence. How do we curb this violence? And sadly, I must say, it'll probably never be curbed. I said to my wife yesterday, I just foresee the end of the world coming. It's becoming clearer and clearer, and she says, I hope not. I still want to spend many years with you, and I do too. But what scares me, it's not the possibility of death. What scares me is the children, the grandchildren. What is this world coming to where you can't even go down, walking down the street without being attacked, shot at, bombed, decapitated? Folks, today's topic is top 10 reasons behind violence in the world. What are the top 10 reasons? Let's discuss them. We all know there is a lot of violence in the world. Countries are fighting with each other. Citizens are fighting against governments, and neighbors are fighting against each other as well. In schools, children bully other children. There's violence in the movies and the video games. There's hatred and anger in songs and books. But why is the world in this condition? There are many reasons behind violence in the world, and every fight will have a different reason. But there are a few common factors that lead to violence around the world, and I want to discuss these common factors. And I'm going to count down from 10 to number 1. Starting with number 10 is intolerance. One of the biggest reasons behind violence is that people are becoming increasingly intolerant for each other. There is no sense of brotherhood or camaraderie among people anymore, and instead there is a sense of mistrust and hatred amongst humans. People don't trust anyone and think that everyone is out to get them. Why we have become intolerant is a question that needs to be answered. If we want to decrease all the violence, it needs to be addressed. I don't know why this world has become intolerant, but that's the way it is. At number 9, drugs. Drugs are a cause of violence in many places. On one level, the drug mafia is very violent within itself. They fight with each other to gain more power and also fight with the governments to try to stop them. But on another level, drugs also cause violence amongst its users. Some resort to violence in order to score the next high, while others get violent while they are high. But at number 9, it's violence. Number 8 is broken homes. More and more marriages today end up in divorce. I believe the statistics are 3 out of 5. People have stopped getting married at all. All these broken homes have no place to raise healthy kids anymore. As a result of this kind of disruption of the homes, children grow up to be highly untrusted and intolerant individuals and resort to violence easy. Number 7, greed. If we think about wars, the biggest reason comes out as greed. Look at the Middle East, all that fighting and death and bloodshed over oil. Many reasons are given as a pretense, but the main reason is always and always will be greed. Peace, democracy, and chemical weapon, etc. are all propaganda that the greedy governments and corporations use to justify why they declare war. But really what they are after is the oil, land, or other natural resources of other countries. Not to mention that war is profitable to itself for the manufacturers of the weapons. This is a big one now, especially lately we've been addressing this with the presidential candidates. Number 6, media. One reason why violence is spreading is because the media and its principle that good news is no news. Our news is full of negative news, and mainstream media is persistently fooling the masses. We only read about how many rapes, murders, and robberies happened on the previous day, but we don't hear about the people doing good things each and every day. It makes the world look more violent and bad, and it is, in turn, increases violence and mistrust among people that hear it. Number 5, lack of education. Ignorance and lack of awareness is a big cause of violence. This happens when proper education is not provided to people. Proper education is not schooling, but the way the elders of society teach young people how to act and behave. Ignorance makes people easy to convince that manipulate into hurting each other, hence more hatred and more violence. Number 4, another big one, especially lately, racism. Racism is a big cause of a lot of violence in the world. People like to connect with people who like them and mistrust anyone who looks and behaves differently. Although apartheid doesn't exist officially, in most countries racism still exists. And the racism isn't just about color of the skin. People from different regions don't trust each other and think in stereotypes. Number 3 is unemployment. Unemployment leads to crime and violence. When young people don't have legitimate job, they have no choice but to resort to crime to feed themselves and their families. It has been seen all around the world, even in developed countries, that there is direct correlation between the rate of unemployment and the rate of crime, which leads to violence. Number 2 is religion, another big one, especially in the Middle East. For centuries, religion has been the biggest cause of war and violence across this mighty globe. Most religions talk about non-violence and compassion in scriptures, but they don't put that into their practice. The religious leaders have always manipulated their religion and the religious scriptures to yield power over the masses. Holy wars have been fought for centuries and are still being fought now, right this minute as we speak. Number 1 is poverty. If there is a reason bigger than religion, then it has to be poverty. Poverty leads to hunger, lack of education, and drug abuse, which can also lead to violence. Even more than poverty, the disproportionate distribution to wealth and bigger cause of violence. It creates a rift between individual pits themselves against each other. The fact that one can get extremely rich leads to greed and the desire to become rich and powerful. Although there are many and complex causes of violence and other flights on lives, I have identified 2 components which are basic violent acts. These are the propensity to be violent at number 1 and the trigger to a violent act as number 2. The propensity to be violent is a personal factor. That is to say, it resides within the individual committing the act. The trigger is a social factor, which resides outside the individual committing the act. Some examples of triggers: there are a dozen of potential triggers, but are alcohol consumption, violence in the media, overcrowding, and a person being disrespected. With few exceptions, triggers lead to violence only when the propensity to be violent also exists. Violence is an increasingly real problem in the United States and in the world. Violence needs to be understood and addressed immediately. Media is often blamed as a prominent cause for violence. Many other factors contribute to violence. After understanding the nature of violence, it is possible to seek solutions to minimize violence. An overwhelming amount of evidence supports mass media as the culprit when it comes to the birth of violence. Violent television shows, video games, and toys promote aggression, destructive behavior within our children. Companies use violence because it sells. It's a market tool. Violent entertainment is often targeted at vulnerable children and teens who are likely to intimidate it. Violent entertainment is popular and profitable for manufacturers. Violent media attracts kids and adults alike, and we need to start curbing the media. Folks, these were the 10 top reasons behind violence in the world that need to be addressed. At number 10, it's intolerance. One of the biggest reasons behind violence is the people have become increasingly intolerant with each other. Number 9, it's the drugs. Drugs are the cause of violence in many places. On one level, drug mafia is violent within itself, and on the other hand, that same mafia is violent with the government that's trying to curb their business. Number 8 is broken homes. More and more marriages end up in divorce today. 3 out of 5 people have stopped getting married at all. These are homes that are broken, and the kids are being raised in broken homes. Number 7 comes at greed. If we think about wars, the biggest reason comes out is greed. And it's not for anything other than land and oil. Look at the Middle East. Number 6 is media. One of the reasons why violence is spreading is because media and its principle of good news is no news. Our news is full of negative news, and mainstream media is persistently fooling the masses. Number 5, lack of education. Ignorance and lack of awareness is the big cause of violence. This happens when proper education is not provided to people. Proper education is not just schooling, but the way that the elders in society teach their young people how to act and behave. Number 4 is racism. Racism is a big cause for a lot of violence in the world. People like to connect with people who look like them and mistrust anyone who looks or behaves differently than them. And it's not just a skin color. Number 3, unemployment. Unemployment leads to crime and violence. When young people don't have legitimate jobs, they have no choice but to resort to crime to feed themselves and to feed their addictions. Number 2 is religion. For centuries, religion has been the biggest cause of war and violence among the globe. The spiritual leaders teach their flock, their congregation, not to be violent, but yet, if you look at history, each and every holy war is a violent war. Number 1, poverty. If there's any reason bigger than religion, it has to be poverty. Poverty leads to hunger, lack of education, and drug abuse, which all lead to violence. Folks, there are 2 types causes of violence. The first one is propensity to be violent, and the second one is the trigger to act violent. Propensity to be violent is a personal factor. That is to say, it resides with an individual committing the act, and the trigger is a social factor, which examples are alcohol consumption, violence in the media, overcrowding, and a person being disrespected. Violence is an increasingly real problem here in the United States. Last night in Paris is proof. The jet being downed 2 weeks ago, flying under the Russian flag, is proof. And violence needs to be understood and addressed immediately. Media is often blamed as a prominent cause for violence. Many other factors contribute to violence. After understanding the nature of violence, it is possible to seek solutions to minimize violence. An overwhelming amount of evidence supports mass media as the culprit when it comes to the birth of violence. Violent television shows, violent video games, arcade games, and toys promote aggression and destructive behavior. Companies use violence because it sells. The children love it. Violent people. The problem is children that they, when you get shot on the game, that the game continues, but in real life, it's over. It's end of game. Violent entertainment is often targeted as vulnerable children and teens who are likely to imitate it. And that's exactly what they do. They imitate it. They see how a guy will just walk into a parking lot and start shooting everybody, and they think it's okay. If you shoot somebody, it's the end of the game. I repeat, violent entertainment is popular and profitable for manufacturers. Violent media attracts children and kids and adults alike. Folks, changes have to be made in this world. For this world to exist for thousands of years to come, something has to change. As we are sitting here speaking right now, over 160 innocent lives were taken in Paris last night. 160. Most of them were executed in the club, watching an American band. 4 perps, otherwise known as perpetrators, executed them. There were a total of 8 ISIS representatives involved in all the bombings and shootings yesterday. I believe there were 6 of them. 8 of them, 7 of them wore suicide belts. People always say, well, we need to prosecute these people. Do you really think they care about prosecution when they are committed to blowing themselves up? When they wear these self-explosive belts around them, they accomplished their mission by executing 100 people in the club before taking their life. And before the French police or the French army were able to apprehend or even terminate the lives of these ISIS, they took their own lives, because they feel by taking their own lives they go and meet the 70 virgins up in heaven. We have to do something about the violence. It is a sad morning, this Saturday morning, November 14th. To think that just yesterday all these lives were existing. We need to start changing. And you know what, folks? Don't be that person laying in a coffin alive, banging on the lid, hoping that somebody hears you. Take action today. If you have an issue with alcohol and drugs, if you have any other life issues, take the first step and reach out. There is no shame in reaching out to people like myself and Larry Geis. Myself, you can reach at 844-405-HELP. Larry Geis, 516-458-2741. You can reach out to both of us. Larry and I, we work together. We can work together, I should say. With me being representative from New York and him down in Florida, either one of us can work through Skype with you, over the phone, over the text. If you're here on Long Island, I can literally meet with you. If you're down in Florida, you can meet with Larry. I can travel to you. Larry can travel to you. But here's the thing. We are both here. Like many other thousands of other addiction recovery life coaches, waiting for you to make the move. I always say, I don't know where you are watching me, but you know that I'm sitting here watching you, speaking to you. Reach out to me, 844-405-HELP. And remember, a sober today promises a better tomorrow. Try to love your neighbor like you love yourself. Go through the day thinking about these 160 lives lost yesterday in Paris. It breaks my heart to even think of the parents of some of these young people, of some of the parents that were taken from children that now don't have parents. Isn't it time for us all to change? Isn't it time for us to start loving each other? The people that don't care, the people that have blown themselves up and killing innocent people. I don't know what the solution is to the problem here, other than if we all try harder to live and love each other, things might get better. Folks, I hope wherever you are, you have the best, safest day in your life. But I pray that you have a sober rest of your life. And I pray that you have a peaceful rest of your life and a loving rest of your life. Call me at 844-405-HELP and let me help you take your life back, and may God bless you.
Yeah, change your future, starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today. Yeah, the show is over, but your life starts today. Taking back your life's the only way. Keep faith, stay positive, push through. Take back your life, it starts with you. Alcohol and drugs can't control your life. Let go of the negative and the strife. Ralf Friedrichs is the man guiding your way. The show is over, but your life starts today. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP. That's 1-844-405-HELP. We hope you love the show today and tune in next time. Take back your life today show with Ralf Friedrichs.